All right, guys. We are going to be reacting to Andrew Wilson's Schools, These Girls, and Basic Biology. Let's jump in, guys.
I understand that these are controversial topics, right? But the thing is you got to think about dating in the modern marketplace. We can't even decide on what women are, right? Like, can't even decide on what women are. The battle of the sexes when it comes to how you adjust for a partner or something like this, it seems like it's a pretty pertinent question in modernity. You know, to be like, well, I have dating preferences and things like this, you know, but if you just kind of signal that men can be women, right? I think that it would make a lot of men very uncomfortable that women hold that view. I think it would necessarily. So I think that these are pretty pertinent to the dating questions, and for some reason people get really offended by this, even though you guys had the most degenerate talk possible just 2 hours ago. It's the most degenerate shit, talking about orgasms and this and that.
Damn.
But suddenly it's brought up whether or not, oh, can you go suck your girlfriend's dick? Is that straight? And suddenly it's like, oh, how can he say such a thing? It's like, where's the consistency here? You talk about everything.
It's all, I think, and it's a sign language tactic. It's trying to bring shame on men. That's the only way. And I think it's a way of filtering who is the real man. The reason for me they use side language is that's the only way they can just check test the man and know who's the weakest, right? By using sign language.
Degenerate thing on planet Earth, but we get to the meat, the brass tacks of what even it is we're talking about, suddenly people get offended. I think it's silly. But why not have the convo?
Yeah.
But I have a ton of great questions here. If you guys want to move the topics, I'm fine with it.
Well, I want to stick on it for a little bit, but I'm pretty much almost done. But the two kind of dissenters, the primary dissenters are gone. Although Alex, you were a dissenter on this, and then also
I was a dissenter.
Well, you think that a man dating a transgender, you think it's straight for a man to date a transgender woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess I'll engage with you while those other two are gone. So if you see two males nude engaging in intercourse, and you don't know their gender identity, would you categorize the sex act as homosexual?
Two males? Well, who am I to tell them who's a male and who's a female?
They both have penises.
Who are you to tell people who murderers are? Who are you to say what a murderer is? Who are you? In fact, who the fuck are you to say anything, I guess?
Period.
You don't hold positions on anything.
Yes.
Like, who are you to tell me what your name is?
No, I'm just not really like a judgmental person.
Into the microphone.
Sorry, I would say I'm just not a judgmental person. I'm very open-minded.
Is that a judgment?
It's not a judgment.
Did you just make a judgment about how not judgmental you are? It's pretty judgy of you.
Yeah, this is where man just got stuck in this conversation. We just got stuck in a superficial conversation, and I think it's because men were not used to debate females, guys. Usually we debate men, and if we come around with a very simple logic, we will give them the win, right? With female, that's not that's not easy. And I think it's because inside the sign language, the need to be right tends to be one of the biggest obstacle when it comes down to debates. The men have to just figure out and just, I would say, dominate, master, and that way we can move this conversation forward. And Andrew Wilson does a very good job at this.
Okay, so
Checkmate. Like, I'm confused.
yeah,
Okay, there you go.
I mean, so I'll ask the question again. You see two males who are nude engaging in intercourse. You don't know their gender identity. Would you categorize the sex act as homosexual?
Sure, if I don't know any context.
Yeah, you don't know their gender identity.
But if somebody
But
between those,
wait, hold on.
Why do I always get cut
Just
off?
hold on,
And that's
just hold
okay
on,
when
because
you
I'm
cut
adding
me
some
off?
hold
Okay.
on. Host here, host privileges. So, not knowing the context, you would categorize it in that way, correct?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And so, if during that act that you had initially categorized as homosexual, if one of them shouted out and said, "Yo, Alex, BTW, I identify as a woman, would you then instantly change the categorization to heterosexual?
For me personally, yes.
Interesting how that works.
That is so illogical.
Here's
My
another
goodness.
question, though.
That is so illogical.
So, how do I want to frame this? How do
This
you
is
define
crazy.
heterosexuality?
A male and a female, gender-wise, or heterosexually.
Heterosexuality.
Yeah, a male and a female. How people identify as their genders.
Right. So, but just to be clear, like, is a transgender woman female?
In my eyes, yes.
Wait, hold on. So for the sake of the conversation, I'm gonna go ahead and grant.
Oh,
I'm gonna go ahead and grant these girls over here. Oh, you're fucking. What's that stuff they get on their hands or whatever? Not the tattoos. Henna. Yeah. Oh my god. So, that's great. So I'm trying to recall where I was at here.
Those are chetes right there, man. You have to be careful of this. These are chetes. And I think the reason females, right, lose respect for men is because there's better subtle kind of signals that they send to see whether or not you have control of the situation. For example, you see her just sitting down like this, she's showing, then just talking, and then here you see the sisterhood, the leader, I guess, the one that protects every other female, and she's trying to derail conversation, and then they're not picking up on it. That means that they can just back off and just do whatever the hell they want, and just think about this, guys. Think about this. They have a great opportunity here to promote whatever business they're into, right? And they come to this kind of platform just to put their face out there. And the fact they're acting like this, it's just the entitlement behind it. It's just what makes it so hard to watch. How, as a society, we have come to a point that we allow this to happen? How? What happened? And where we went wrong? Let me know in the comment section below. See?
Can you guys not
See?
do the little
Second,
sidebar
check
thing
this.
that you guys are
Check that. I'm telling you. They're check testing Brian.
doing? So,
See, that's weak. That's weak. The way he just, hey, she did it again.
you guys not do the little sidebar thing that
She's smiling, smirking because she just seeing whether or not Brian is the guy.
you guys are doing? So, I'm trying to. Can somebody jumpstart me a little bit? What was I just saying? Something about?
You were
Hetero.
but she made a miscategorization between gender and sex.
Yeah. So, is a transgender woman female?
Yes.
Okay, so granting, I'm going to go ahead and grant.
Sex-wise, no. Gender-wise, yes.
female is not gender. There's
Gender would be man,
there's
woman.
there's
distinction,
man,
sex, male,
woman,
female.
man, woman, gender, sex, female, male.
Okay.
So are transgender women female?
Okay, wait, hold on. Which one is sex and which one is gender?
Male,
Damn,
female.
dummy.
Are you intentionally
sex.
being obtuse or?
No,
we already just said
because
it.
we're okay. Whatever.
Okay,
I
sex-
believe that.
Here, I'll explain it to you. Sex, male, female, gender, man, woman.
Okay, I believe that a trans woman is a woman.
Yeah, are they female though?
By their sex, no.
Okay, thank you.
But I said that from the beginning that their
Right. So
chromosomes are
Well,
different
yeah.
technically.
Well, we understand, but when you were restating it, you were using the category to say, in my eyes, trans women are female,
Okay,
which is
sure.
giving us the sex category. So Brian was
Yeah.
confused.
Thank you
obviously
for
confused
clarifying
about
because I was also confused.
Yeah, and so I'm trying to kind of remember here, like whose positions were what. Do you think that a transgender woman is female?
No, a transgender woman is a man.
I think they're female.
Do you think they're female? Okay. Do you think transgender women are female?
Oh,
This is so
yes.
ridiculous.
Do you think transgender women are female?
No.
Okay. Just can you explain to me how transgender women are female?
I actually rather not speak on that at the moment.
This is where they love to push this agenda, but when there's time for them to really confront their ideology, I'd rather not talk. I will push it though, Don't worry, I will push this agenda right in your face. But when it's time to defend it, I'm not gonna push it.
Is this what you guys,
I'm just like slightly uncomfortable, and I just don't.
Kick her out, bro.
you're
It's just
uncomfortable
a
with?
really big topic, and there's a lot of people watching, and
You could talk about orgasms and dildos and everything else in this audience for like to this
Well,
audience
this-
for two hours ago, but suddenly we bring up
Did I ever
social
talk
issue
about an
with- hang on,
orgasm?
which affects calm down, which affects dating, and now suddenly you're like, oh my God, there's no possible way for me to engage
Gaslighting,
in this
man.
topic because somebody might see it and
Hey.
it might hurt their feelings.
Can we get people like back at the table if y'all are done like using the bathroom and all that?
Damn.
Okay. I guess where I'm confused is like people. So to you, you think a transgender woman is a female. I'm prepared for the sake of the conversation. I'll go ahead and grant that transgender women are women. It's not my actual position, but I'll just grant it. But like sex is a much higher standard than gender. So you think transgender women are female? How do you come to that conclusion? Like, have they changed their chromosomes? Were they?
I mean, I feel like if you had the surgery, then it would make sense. Like, yes, they are female.
Yeah, right there.
'cause, like,
Matt said it. Matt said it. Matt said it. That's one of the first steps in Marxism, to change definitions of society's language. This is insanity. These women are not so. Yeah, this is how they do it. This is how they do it, man. And the thing about men is, again, I have to repeat this, and this is what we need to just keep the focus on and make sure that we know what are the arguments here. Noticing their tactics, their social behaviors, is going to help us understand where are the cracks of these arguments. The sign language is one, the sisterhood, right? All these things are obstacles and rebuttals that we can now move forward because now we know it is happening inside the dynamic, social dynamic, right? The transformers conversations is only happening, guys, in the female side of things. It's not happening in the male side of things, guys. It's not. Right? And this is where I agree with Andrew. In this case, we should not be even defining what a woman is. We just marry them. We just marry them and let them just collapse. Let them just compete with men. Let them have it. But we have to now do our part and just select our women that we want. At some point, you have to let them burn. Metaphorically, right? Let them just touch the stove. Let them get burned. Because this conversation, I think, is a trap. It's like a small psyop. It's on the manosphere. They know what a woman is, guys. They just like to just play this word salad. Let me know what you guys think.
If you get a boob job and you don't have boobs, are they still boobs? Like,
Wait,
yes.
what?
Like,
So I would say that you mean like if a male gets breast implants,
No,
are they
no,
the
like-
same as like female breasts?
Then because you weren't born with it and then you have them,
Yeah.
does it mean that they are
Yeah,
still
like if
well,
you-
I mean,
But I wouldn't
natu-
get huge boobs
like-
right now. Are they boobs still?
He's saying
Like, if I had fake
the
boobs
chromosomes
in a-
versus gender.
your breasts are your boob is still there.
See,
Is it the
that's-
same as having
that's a
like if you
trap,
get double D's through implants? Is it the same as natural double D's? No.
No.
Like would you?
well, no,
do you-
but they're still boobs.
That's facts, isn't it? It's facts.
yeah,
they're
that
not.
doesn't
Yes.
that doesn't map on.
Yeah. Actually, this would make Brian's point. You're absolutely right. Right? They would still be breasts, and those people would still be male.
I think
No,
the-
like those
So even if
people.
they got fake breasts, they would still be male.
No, not if they get boobs. If they like get the sex change
You can't
into
change
a
your
coochie.
sex.
So then
Yes, you
tell me
can.
You're
your
Yes.
still
sex.
always
No.
In
going
surgery?
to be
Let
born
me
a
just ask you
man.
this. We'll just
That's-
see if this actually tracks logically
Okay.
at all. Okay, so you have trans people who get a bottom surgery, have penis removed, and then have a neo vagina put in. You guys agree that this is a fact. This does happen, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, and you would consider that to now be a female, right?
I
Yeah.
would.
Yes.
Now, let's say that a guy was driving down the street, a man, okay, and he got in a terrible car accident. He flew out the windshield, and it cut off his, right, and slashed perfectly a
I heard
neo-vagina
this
into
argument
him.
before.
Now, this just happens a freak accident, but freak things happen all the time. Why is that guy now not a female?
Because he doesn't identify as a woman.
Oh.
I feel like
Right,
that's
so
simple.
then the
Psychosis,
identification
It's
of
up to
woman,
person to person.
the gender is what we're talking about, but you can't change the sex, can you?
Yeah, I agree
You
with that.
cannot change your chromosomes scientifically. That is
Yeah.
already been gone over.
Wait, so just going around the table on this, I think we asked, are transgender women female?
I should not be arguing this,
Yeah.
man.
If they
I should not be arguing this. This is ridiculous. I'm gonna leave it there. At this point, we have to say no. You're wrong, and this is how it is. Because the reason they're being dishonest throughout this conversation is because they don't want to be. They know their social circles. They know the social media that they're on. They're gonna get scrutinized. They're afraid of their own guy. That's what it is. Let me know what you guys think. I personally think I'm tired of this conversation. I'll see you next one.